of fire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat this bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
to get off that darkest ground. The gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky. When you want to get off that darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Yeah.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down, down. Clear When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. with crimson secrets and forbidden bliss. Can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within. Mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down. Clear skies. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
This one, and I suppose ordinarily you might say this is a Manchester United victory.
Yes, but there's got to be a reaction, hasn't there? We already talked about that in terms of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying in his press conference during the week. He's got to see a reaction to his side. There's got to be a big one as well, because this is a Watford team that will harry, will try and get in front early on, put the pressure on this United side. You look down the two lineups, there's not too many goals in either lineup, really, is there, in terms of Premier League chances so far. So both will have a nervousness coming into this game, and Watford will see this as not quite the free hit that you would normally say. I would put it that way. In that sense, I think they'll fancy the chances of at least a point in this game.
Yeah, their home record is actually a little bit worse than their away record. They've only scored 4 goals and conceded 11 at Vicarage Road. 1-1 drawn, 1 lost, 3. Of course, the goal stats are skewed a little bit away from home with that surprise 5-2 win at Everton. But they won a couple on the road. No draws, 4 defeats. Scored 8, conceded 8. I mean, that's Watford. So they've got to start trying to make Vicarage Road a little bit more of a fortress if they want to pull away from the drop zone. Of course, Manchester United had a fantastic away record for a long time, but they've just been poor in recent matches. Trying to remember the last good match they had, actually, but even though they've won games, they haven't necessarily impressed. Thinking of a couple in the Champions League. Spurs was a bit of an anomaly, really, but they got played off the park by Liverpool and Man City, 2 teams that are going for the title. Ball over the top of Manchester United, it's too far, and it's through to Ben Foster, but it's just Manchester United are just bang out of form. They can't defend, they're not necessarily scoring, although Cristiano Ronaldo is, and he of course could be a key player in this lineup today.
Yeah, I think that's the concern for United, isn't it? As you say, it's lack of consistency, lack of quality at times. There's been sparks, there's certainly been life in there, but you look at the table, you look at the way the games have gone. At the moment, in terms of that top 6, they're a second-tier team, aren't they? You know, they're behind those other sides, and it seems to be quite a big step at the moment. And again, we've said this before about United 2 or 3 times this season. It's a good set of individuals. It's not a good team at the moment, and they're getting found out by the better sides. And sides like Watford are the ones who could cause them a problem. They shouldn't, as you said. Looking at the team lineups, absolutely no question they shouldn't, because of the quality in the United side. But Watford are a team under Ranieri who've got a bit of identity back, who've got a settled way of playing, will play to their system well, and if they play sharply and quickly and get in front, then the nerves start to jangle.
Yeah, just obviously forgetting Liverpool and Man City. United have lost to Young Boys, they've lost to West Ham, they've lost to Villa, they've lost to Leicester. I say Leicester because they're bang out of form this season. And of course they've obviously capped those defeats off with pretty one-sided victories for Liverpool and Manchester City. Scraped one against Atalanta, but there's been a break. Obviously the coaching staff might have got things together. Nothing's happened in the game. It's been quite long ball really. Not much time in possession for either side. Neither side has taken a grip, so it's quite a scrappy start to the game, coming up to about 4 minutes played. Certainly no efforts at goal. And it's symptomatic of, I suppose, of what we've been talking about. Nerves, there certainly will be nerves for both sides because they obviously aren't playing well. Obviously, Claudio Ranieri, top baptism of fire for him. 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. I don't know where that 5 goals came from. It could be a chance for Jadon Sancho to get through. No, the pass is just too straight from the Nemanja Matic. That's gone straight through to Ben Foster again. So Watford back in possession. Those 5 goals against Everton for Watford, I don't know where they came from because obviously they've since been beaten 1-0 by Southampton, 1-0 by Arsenal, and goals look as though they could be the problem for the Hornets.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, you look down the lineup today, there's only actually 3 players who've scored in the Premier League so far out of the 10 outfield players for Watford, so immediately you see the problem. As you say, a lot of those were scored against Everton all in one go. The Everton game just suited their style, didn't it? You know, it's particularly in the second half. They got into a stage where they could attack on the break quickly, swiftly. Everton were pushing forward, leaving gaps, played perfectly into Watford hands. Other sides haven't played that way, and it's interesting that United at the moment not really pushing too far forward with Rashford and with Sancho and Fernandes. They're sitting in a little bit in midfield, just making sure that those gaps aren't there, but also not putting too much pressure straight away on the Watford defence at this stage to try and stop those gaps over the top, because that's what Watford were looking for. First couple of minutes of the game, banging balls out towards Dennis on one side, towards Sarr on the other, looking for the gaps in between the fullbacks. At the moment, because Shaw and Wan-Bissaka are sitting in, they know that's going to come. Simple for United to deal with it first 5 minutes. Goal elsewhere, by the way. Southampton now lead by a 1-0 against Norwich.
Could be a chance here for Watford. Ball into the box. Oh, it's stabbed wide of the goal, but it's going to be a penalty. King was running through. He was bundled over from behind by Lindelof. He went down. There was still a shot coming in from Dennis. That was wide of the post. 6 yards out. This all stemmed from a Manchester United throw-in. It's poor, really, from them. John Moss, the referee, has pointed to the spot. He's been surrounded by both sets of players. It ultimately led to Dennis putting the ball wide, but John Moss went to the spot. It was an awful ball up in the air from Bruno Fernandes. It was. He was just trying to volley it downfield. He sliced it, and then Scott McTominay going down has made contact with King. The ball still came to Dennis. He put the ball wide. Penalty spot was pointed to by John Moss, but I think VAR is going to get involved. But this looks a penalty.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough to overturn it in that sense. McTominay has got eyes on the ball, but then he starts to stumble and he leans into the player, puts an arm around him. There's not a massive amount of contact on King, but King will make the most of that, as you'd expect. McTominay gets lost, and as I say, I don't think there's enough to overrule this. The referee's quite right. Try and play on, see if there's an advantage. The advantage doesn't come, and therefore Watford will have the chance from the spot. And Ismaila Sarr has already picked up the ball and is wandering forward to take it.
Yeah, it's interesting that they got the shot at goal and the penalty decision. I suppose he might have blown the whistle before the shot was taken, but it is a penalty, and Watford have a chance in the 8th minute to take the lead. Sarr, oh, it's saved by the keeper. The follow-up shot is put in, so Watford have taken the lead. It's a good strike in the end from Kiko Femenia, I think it was, from a tight angle. It was a poor penalty, really, from Sarr, but obviously it was saved by David De Gea. The rebound's been tucked home. Watford have the lead.
Yeah, too quick on the rebound, wasn't he, for everybody else around him on that occasion. Kiko, they'll check to make sure he was outside the penalty area when the kick was taken. I think that's what John Moss is just having a word in his ear to make sure that the player was outside the penalty area. We'll see from the replay when it's taken. Sarr takes it, he's inside the box. This could get pulled back because Kiko is inside the penalty area. I think when the kick is taken, he starts to move. It was a poor penalty, decent stop by De Gea. But if you look again here, yeah, just in. He took a step or two inside. Be interesting to see if this is ruled out, because for me, he's inside the box. I don't think any United players were as it came in.
Yeah, I think it's quite weird that, isn't it? Because it's only about one stride, but it is inside the box. Was David De Gea on the line, though? All these things
I
get
wasn't looking at
taken
that.
out. They're checking for possible encroachment. They're not necessarily checking for David De Gea at the moment, but they're going to look at all angles. So VAR's looking into this penalty. The penalty itself was saved. The man who's putting the rebound is possibly encroaching, though, and I guess if you look at penalties that have to be retaken because the keeper's off his line, he doesn't have to be off his line by very much. So if he's a stride in, I think they're going to retake. Has he pointed to the pot?
I think it's a retake on the basis that they were. If that's the case, I think it's because there's also the keeper off the line. So there's two fouls, as it were, in that sense that kind of cancel each other out. I think that's what Maguire is. I think that's the case. You're now testing my memory in terms of in terms of. One Southampton 1 is now the score as well at 1-0.
Looks like Sar's going to take the retaken penalty. Now, the VAR screen said checking for encroachment. I thought that would be ruled out, but it's going to be a retaken penalty. And so it's second time that Sar's going to try and beat David De Gea from the spot. He's got the same way and it's saved again. Oh, and Maguire is then getting in the way of Shaw. That was almost getting in each other's way. So desperate to make the clearance. But David De Gea has saved the second penalty from Sar. There's no encroachment this time because it was United who reacted first. Were they inside the net? No, they weren't. But it's dealt with. And so two penalties, both saved by David De Gea. I don't think this is any better than the first penalty either. I have to say, he kind of went the same way, but it was more towards the middle of the left half, and it's hammered away. I think it's for a corner.
Yeah, they will check again to look for encroachments, to look for off the line. I don't think he's off the line. Looking at the replay behind, I think he's still got a foot down to here. It's confirmed. Corner comes in. Flick header from Sissoko off a defender and behind. All action at the moment, but it remains, as we said, Watford 0, Manchester United 0. And as you said, I don't think it was a particularly good penalty in that sense. It's almost like he couldn't decide whether to go left or down the middle. He kind of puts it between the two, and De Gea, decent stop from him, reacts quickly to push it away. Second corner for Watford.
Yeah, it swung in a little bit deeper this time. It's bouncing away through the far post. Now half hat clear. Now the break is on potentially for Manchester United. Ronaldo is looking for Jadon Sancho through the middle, but he just couldn't quite get his body in the right place to get enough power behind the ball, because it was noticeable there was lots of Watford players desperate to get back. If that ball had been better, if it had been behind the last man, Sancho is running clean through from inside his own half effectively. But Watford were able to deal with it. But if Manchester United needed a wake-up call, then they got one. Obviously, Watford have twice missed an opportunity to go in front. We were talking about their goals, and I have to admit, I can't remember the last Watford penalty, so I don't know if Sarr would be the usual penalty taker. I mean, I guess in this lineup, Watford possibly don't get many penalties, but I found that an interesting call that Sarr was taking the penalty and he took the second penalty as well.
Well, he got the confidence, didn't he? Say straight away, he picked up the ball, he was straight in. Here comes Ronaldo, though, for United. Come back to that in a second.
Yeah, down the left-hand side. He tries to go around the outside of Cathcart, but Cathcart gets the block in. This will be a Manchester United corner. They haven't offered much threat, but now there's a little bit more urgency about both sets of players, particularly Manchester United. Steve mentioned they were sitting in and not letting space in behind, but now the two penalties have been saved. There's suddenly breaking in numbers and with pace. Corner to Manchester United is going to be taken by Luke Shaw on the left, so an away swinger. McTominay and Maguire lurking around the penalty spot. I think McTominay's more of a blocker. Corner comes in, it's not cleared, it bounces twice in the 18-yard box before eventually it's hacked away. And then Luke Shaw, the referees play the advantage. Luke Shaw and a Watford player can't quite see it down, but Sancho has the ball. So it's no foul. Both players are now back up. And Watford, is it Sarr? Sprint.
Dennis. It is. It's madness, isn't it, at the moment? Luke Shaw's gone down again. In that sense, he's, as I say, he was certainly injured. I think he took a bit of a... I don't think the same was true of Dennis, the way that he jumped up. The Nigerian was straight away down the line and he was off and away before anything could change from that point of view. Shaw is back onto his feet, doesn't need any treatment at the moment, but maybe one just to keep an eye on as the game continues.
Yes, a little bit frenetic, the spell, as it's Manchester United in possession under a little bit of pressure. Sissoko trying to force a mistake from Wan-Bissaka. King's caught from McTominay from behind. Legally, he got the ball. McTominay didn't see him coming. Unfortunately, Watford can't make the best of that. It's an early ball downfield to Marcus Rashford, who hasn't seen much of it so far, but he's left edge of the box, trying to go around one man. He has. He's got to the byline, fires in a left-footed cross. It's low, comes out to Fernandes. Complete air shot from him on the half volley. The bounce took it over his foot. Of course, it was him who effectively assisted the penalty with an awful clearance from outside his own box, a big up and under back into it, and McTominay was the wrong side of King, so he'll be a little bit relieved at the moment. But Manchester United, in truth, haven't got anything going so far, as McTominay sidestep one challenge, plays it through to Rashford, who for many has marked him really well. He guessed the first touch, then dispossessed Rashford, who might have been coming from an offside position anyway. This will be a free kick to Watford just outside their own box, but yeah, the pace. Both players now, both sets of players are really stepping up. Manchester United have been a little bit more aggressive than what they were pre-penalty. And both managers are on their feet barking out some instructions. But certainly encouragement. I know it's a bit of a kick in the teeth when he missed 2 penalties. But the fact that they're getting into these positions, creating problems. I know it came from a United mistake. But the sort of setting into the United back four when they've got the ball quite quickly. They're trying to make the back four give the ball away, and it's worked to a degree.
It has, absolutely. As I say, it was a terrible clearance away that caused the problem, but it was the pressure again from Watford up quickly. You think about it, 15 minutes, how many times have we seen United with any spell of possession away from maybe 25, 30 yards from their own box? They're at it again here. Maguire and Matic trying to find a way out. 3 Watford players all around them. Matic now has finally turned round and found 2 yards of space every way he turns, but has only got the ball square to Wan-Bissaka. So Watford working incredibly hard. Kings took it off. It might be a foul. Referee says not. Watford come away.
Yeah, King feeding it to Sarr just down the outside of the D. He tried a no-look reverse pass, faking the shot. Didn't quite work. It sort of trickled behind King and was making that run in behind Harry Maguire. But again, half an opportunity there for Watford. Ultimately comes to nothing. And Luke Shaw has it for the visitors on the halfway line. Matic, one of the 3 changes. Fred, the man that he's displaced in the starting 11. No Mason Greenwood in the matchday squad today, incidentally. He's a player who dropped out. Just a reminder of the other scores as Wan-Bissaka just plays that through to Ben Foster. Watford back in possession. Chelsea pretty much eased to a 3-0 victory at Leicester City in the early game. It's still goalless Villa Brighton. Palace 1-up at Burnley. Newcastle Brentford is now 1-1, as is Norwich Southampton. Wolves West Ham is still goalless, and somehow Watford Manchester United is still goalless. If you didn't know, just joining us, Watford have missed 2 penalties. Both penalties were saved in the same incident, although in between, Femenia blasted home a rebound to what he thought was put Watford in front, but that was ruled out for encroachment. Penalty was retaken, and David De Gea saved Sarr's effort for the 2nd time. So Watford having the early chances, and they've got the early possession as well, in truth, into the 18th minute, and Manchester United haven't seen much of it, as King just gives the ball away. At the moment he's playing on the left. Manchester United give it away as well though, and here is King onto his right foot, shot blocked by Lindelof. Only as far as Sissoko, works it out to the left edge, cross comes in, it's low, and it beat 2 defenders but not the 3rd, Harry Maguire. Another cross comes in from the left, it's a deeper one this time. Luke Shaw wins the aerial battle, and now Rashford has it for Manchester United, looking for Ronaldo on the halfway line. He only finds Cathcart, who pumps it back into the United box straight away, cleared this time by McTominay, and Manchester United back in possession. All of Manchester United's possession is probably within 20 yards of their own 18-yard box. They can't get out at the moment. Credit to Watford for that. And I guess it'll be a question mark whether Watford can sustain that sort of pressure.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to sit McTominay and Matic in front of the back four to try and block things off, to stop Watford from getting possession through the centre, fair enough. But at the moment, what it's doing is it means there's no outlet for Manchester United because the two wing-backs or the two full-backs aren't willing to push further forward, so they're not finding the space. At the moment, there's no width from Sancho or from Rashford. Rashford, too many times, is finding himself in a central position where it's too cluttered, so there's no out ball so far. There's going to be a yellow card as well here for a challenge. Just trying to see who it was who actually put the challenge. It must be McTominay because he's the one on the screen. We'll see again. Yeah, it goes over the top. May get a touch on the ball as he lunges in, but it is a stretch. And Dennis, he goes right on the top of the player, and straight away free kick, yellow card, automatic these days.
Yeah, probably have a look at that. It's not necessarily what you'd think is an ordinary red card challenge. He got him twice though, didn't he? The trailing leg coming through as well, but I don't think there was any malice. A sliding challenge, still allowed to a degree, as Dennis is back on his feet, so he's fine to continue. Can tell you, Burnley have got an equaliser as well, so there's 3 1-all scores. Burnley, Palace, Newcastle, Brentford, Norwich, Southampton. The rest still goalless. 6 games at 3 o'clock. Another free kick to Watford. High position left-hand side of the pitch, but maybe only 30 yards from goal, as it's fizzed in. Oh, and it's all bouncing through again. Not one United defender's taking charge, and maybe Watford were leaving it to each other. And I know that looked a good ball in, and ultimately nobody's got a touch on it.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It's happened 2 or 3 times now. There was 2 corners and that one as well where no United player dealt with the ball. They're so busy fighting with players, pushing, shoving, finding space, whatever else. Nobody's actually attacking the ball itself. Led to a free header from a corner that got blocked wide. The second corner came in, everybody missed it. That free kick the same. You know, if this keeps happening, particularly a little closer, De Gea won't come for it. The defence have got to deal with it. Watford will see these as great chances in the box from these set pieces.
Yeah, into the 21st minute. Ball diagonal from left to right for Watford, looking for Sarr. Sarr can't control, and it bounces into touch. Throwing Manchester United, but again, they're deep inside their own half. Well, midpoint maybe, left-hand side. As Shaw is again caught. This time, I think it was Sarr. He's been involved in 3 little incidents, Luke Shaw. I'm not saying it should be a free kick, but of course he's had 1 or 2 injuries, and that's the 3rd time he's been on the end of something, and he just got up a little bit gingerly. Shake of the hands with Sarr, so no malice there, but yeah, it'd be a little bit of a worry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and of course Luke Shaw himself. Free kick to Manchester United, again deep inside their own half, 20 yards from their own goal line. Maguire fires it up to the feet of Fernandes, who somehow controlled it back to Matic. Not sure if that was a miscontrol and got lucky, or a cushion pass. Difficult to work out, but McTominay has it on the halfway line. Bit of space for Shaw on the left, bringing it forward now. He's got Rashford outside him. Eventually feeds his England colleague onto his right foot, cross deep towards the far post. Sancho keeps it alive. Cathcart heads it away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Sancho couldn't do any better than that. It was just a little bit too deep. The initial ball from Marcus Rashford, as Sarr and Dennis combined to win the ball away. I thought there might have been a tug on the jersey. Could be spaced down the right for Sarr now. He's found, tried to reverse it back to the far post towards Dennis, as United got caught cold there. It's blocked by the legs of Maguire, but that looked a good break from Watford. Just didn't quite find that final ball.
Yeah, what a ball from King into Sarr, though. He just lost a little bit of pace. But you can see what he could see. You can see Dennis on the far side. Maguire's fortunate that the trailing leg is there to block it. He played at it, Maguire. I'm not saying it just hit him. He didn't, but he was in the right place at the right time. But what a superb ball it was. But again, the outlet is there for United, and it Shaw gets forward, they suddenly find space, but then as soon as the transition comes, Watford are away. That's where the goals came from against Everton.
Here's a ball coming in from the left, and again it's bouncing around. Could be an opportunity. It's fired towards goal by King. It's blocked. Not by the keeper, just by the sheer volume of defenders in and around the 6-yard box. It's still alive, right-hand side. A bit of space for Mania on that right-hand side, looking for an option. Can't quite find the space. He's dispossessed in the end. It was a loser, actually, in that right-wing position. And another awful clearance from Manchester United. This time, I say this time, it's still Fernandes. Now, Rashford has it, getting lucky a little bit, Manchester United there. Rashford trying to take on all comers, eventually runs it into touch. And it will be a Watford throw. But, I mean, you mentioned it to me before the game. Manchester United were poor defensively last week. They haven't worked on anything in the last 2 weeks because they're all over the shop right now. We have passed the halfway point, though, of this first period. Plenty of excitement, certainly for Watford. Here they are again. Here's Steve.
Yeah, Sarr into the penalty area, just overruns it this time. Maybe a flag up anyway had he got towards goal. But on this occasion, he just ran out of steam down that right-hand side. But you look at it again, and as we've already said, ball into the area. Nobody from a United point of view attacks the ball at the near post, and that creates the chances. They're lucky. Maguire spreads himself ice hockey goaltender style, leg out of the back, and it flicks the back of his heel. Otherwise, that's nestling in the back of the United net. And already, Manchester United, 24 minutes in, as Rob already said, there is no foothold in this game yet for Manchester United at all. It's been predominantly Watford, and it had not been for the 2 penalty saves from De Gea, from the retake of penalty and the first one as well, United would be behind. But here's an outlet that they need for me to exploit more as Shaw picks up possession. This time he's deeper inside his own half. Cleverly comes to close him down, and Watford's press is right up on the edge of the box again. Maguire's given space to wander across the penalty area, but he's not given any space further forward. Ronaldo is dropping deeper and deeper to try and find something, to make something happen now. The Portuguese international, he's desperate to get his side on the ball and get some possession. He's directing traffic all over the pitch at the moment to try and find a way to inspire his side to get a foothold in this game. Plenty of time, still 0-0. Watford, Manchester United. Here comes Rashford, wide on the left-hand side. Flicks it away from Cathcart. Tries to run inside. Kiko Femenia makes a challenge, though. And Watford should be able to clear, and they tidy it up neatly down the right-hand side because the United press is one person rather than 2 or 3. But McTominay has won it back. Then he goes in with Cleverly, the two of them battling for it in midfield. Sarr into Ronaldo. I've got to say, I agree with the referee. I think that's more a into the back rather than a push shoulder to shoulder. But Ronaldo has said, OK, this is not working for my side. I'm going to get involved in absolutely everything.
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's coming out on the left-hand side. I think what they're hoping is Fernandes makes that run into the gaps that Ronaldo's filled. But I'm struggling to work out what position Fernandes is playing in this game, because twice he's been in the left-back position, playing awful clearances. And now it seems that they want him to make that run in behind because he's the highest man up the pitch at the moment for Manchester United, although Sancho has given it away. But it's really difficult to work out how Manchester United want to play, isn't it? What is their modus operandi? Nobody knows. Matic and McTominay at times have stood right on top of the 2 central defenders, and it's easier for Watford to just pen them in. There's no real game plan here. Watford again, they're quite direct, but they've been good about it, using pace, overlapping down that left-hand side, right-hand side, using the full-backs. There's at least an identity. They know what they're doing. Manchester United, sometimes it's walking pace, sometimes it's direct. It's quite open, and I don't think it's all devised.
Yeah, massive gap, as you say, in between the defensive midfielders and the players further forward. Fernandes should be the bridge in there. As you say, he's here, there and everywhere across midfield. Long clearance downfield from Foster, headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Not the best ball back because it's come to Sarr inside the penalty area. Maguire gets the block. Sarr still keeps possession, tries to get it back to King inside the centre of the penalty area. It's cleared away, and Manchester United at the moment clinging on. It's desperate. It's a last-ditch block. It's whatever they can find to stop Watford from getting a clear shot on goal. It's frantic and it's poor.
Yeah, it is poor. I mean, you just wonder what's going on. I mean, obviously that you look at that on the face of it, it's a poor pass from the man Matic, but the ball is up in the air, and somebody should shout to him away or whatever. There's just no communication between seemingly anybody in Manchester United. Maguire's upset that Matic has passed it to a Watford player, but Watford's Matic is looking at the ball high in the air. Here come Watford again on the attack.
Yeah, Kiko with the ball on the right-hand side, lifts a high one up towards the far post, headed straight up in the air while Wan-Bissaka drops inside the penalty area. Ball comes back across to King, and this time he smuggled it home from just outside the 6-yard box. King found a bit of space as the ball came back across to him. He managed to get his foot round it, and it's bobbled its way through players and past De Gea, and Watford's pressure finally gets the goal that it deserves. Another poor clearance from the back, this time from Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United didn't get the ball out of the penalty area, didn't take control of it, and Watford have taken full advantage, and it's they who lead by a 1-0 on 28 minutes.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the cleanest strike in the world, was it? But there's, what, 6 defenders in there. Nobody's got the man on that left-hand side. Is it Dennis? He's pulled the ball back. And I think it's not his cleanest strike, but he's found a little bit of a gap. You mentioned it. Wan-Bissaka, poor header. Could have let it go. They've then allowed the cross to come in. And nobody's marking King. You know, it's quite schoolboy-ish. You know, that's being offensive to schoolboys. If you know, it's just poor. There's 6 defenders, 3 attackers. How are 2 of them free? Nothing's been said in the 2 weeks that are off because they're making these mistakes against City, against Liverpool, against Atalanta, and now they're doing it against Watford, and it's just poor. Somebody take charge. Maguire needs to get a grip. Somebody be a leader. Take nothing away from Watford. They've been pressing away at the door. They've capitalise on the opportunities they get. They want to get it into the box. They're causing problems. Here they come again.
Yeah, they're away down the right-hand side. It's Sarr this time, deflected cross into the box. Almost comes for Dennis, but it's headed away by Lindelof from just in front of him. But it's still not clear. Bouncing around on the edge of the box. Matic finally pushes it forward to Bruno Fernandes, and there might be a breakaway for United, but challenge comes in, and the momentum is stopped almost straight away. But in the end, it's played across. I've got to say, great work from Dennis as well when the opportunity did fall for him to drive down towards the byline, pulled it back in for King, who, they say, simple stuff, just dropped away a couple of yards from the defenders. And again, it's that situation of nobody taking charge inside the penalty area to deal with the initial ball in. Goal elsewhere. Burnley now lead Crystal Palace by 2-1. Plenty of goals flying around early on in the Premier League, except in the games between Aston Villa and Brighton and Wolves and West Ham. Everything else has at least a goal, including our game as we reach the half-hour mark. A frantic first half an hour. Glum faces in the away end at Vicarage Road, not surprisingly, from what they've seen from their side so far. Ben Foster, well, he's another goalkeeper at the moment after half an hour that's going to be charged admission fee because he's done literally nothing. He's been a spectator for the whole game so far, and that kind of sums up where we're at. De Gea saving 2 penalties and seeing the ball pinging around in front of him as he did for the goal. Ben Foster's finally had a touch, a clearance downfield, a rare excursion into the heart of the Watford half for the ball, if not at the feet of a Manchester United player. But here come Watford again as Sarr chests the ball down, cleverly plays it onto the right-hand side. Kiko Femenia wants a ball further forward as Sarr tries to flick it inside. Dennis had gone on a different angle, though, on the run around the back of him. The ball didn't find the Nigerian striker, but it will be picked up in midfield now by Manchester United as Matic rolls it to Fernandes wide on the left-hand side. He'll try a long cross. It's a decent ball in towards Rashford as well. Good save by Foster, down quickly to his right to push it away. Still not clear. Ronaldo's claiming handball on the edge of the penalty area. United have won it back. Sancho rolls it to Rashford again across the face of goal, and he's pushed away by Foster. Just as I said, he got nothing to do. Ben Foster, he pulls out a couple of decent saves to keep Manchester United at bay as Watford now try and break at the other end of the field. Dennis, almost finds it through for Sarr. It's end-to-end stuff over the last minute or so. There's going to be a foul here by Dennis on Maguire. Referee, though, sensibly allows play to continue as Fernandes heads off across field. Ball is played short for McTominay, so the momentum of the attack has disappeared, at least for the moment. But it's Manchester United who are in possession, just on the halfway line. They'll send it backwards, though, this time to De Gea, as Watford have reset, but a couple of great chances and a couple of decent stops from Foster as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's alert. There's a great diagonal, actually, from Fernandes. I mean, this is what happens when you give players... I mean, obviously, Manchester United for half an hour have done nothing, but maybe there's a little bit of fatigue setting in because nobody's put pressure on Fernandes, and that's a fantastic diagonal into the box. It was, you know, it was a 30, 40-yard pass right on the money. Decent strike. I don't think it's Rashford's cleanest, but it's certainly heading into the goal, and Foster needed to be at his best. A little bit of pressure, but that's taken half an hour. Countless chances at the other end, 2 missed penalties, and finally they've tested the keeper. Maybe United have woken up, I don't know. I just wonder whether it's just the pressing that they've done. Oh, it's another mistake at the back. This time it's Matic. Here come Watford again.
And Sarr spotted a gap. He's away onto the edge of the penalty. He's forced wide this time. Plenty of Manchester United players around him, but he pulls it back to King on the edge of the box. His shot is charged down by Wan-Bissaka on the edge of the area, but it's Watford who still have possession. They'll spread it out wide to Kiko on the right-hand side. He'll go with the 1-2 with Cleverly down towards the byline. Can he get across? And he can. Easily headed away by McTominay. Not that it's the best header, though, because it goes straight out of play for a throw-in as Kiko allows it to bounce out down the right-hand side. Goal elsewhere. Rico Henry has scored for Brentford. 3 goals already at St James's Park inside the first half an hour. Newcastle 1, Brentford 2. So nothing to cheer up Eddie Howe in his hotel room this afternoon. Another victim of the COVID virus at the moment. Unable to play, as with Mason Greenwood for Manchester United today. Not in the matchday squad. It's going to be a free kick here. A little tap on the back of the ankles on Bruno Fernandes, or he's holding the back of his neck or his arm or something. He's moaning to the referee that something happened there, but whatever it was pretty minimal. As Fernandes gets back to his feet, Sissoko is the one who taps his hand. If it's Sissoko against Fernandes, I'm going Sissoko myself. I think there's a little tap on the back of the head as he's gone past. Nothing else in it. Fernandes will get the free kick. I don't think it's going to be terminal, though, for Fernandes.
Well, I think this is symptomatic of the game. I mean, Sissoko's up there, the wrong side of the ball, high up the pitch. There's a chance for Manchester United to break, but I don't know whether they're trying to get Sissoko in the book or just slow the game down, get a free kick. I just think that's symptomatic of the game, and there wasn't anything in it. It's not going to hurt a grown man unless he wants it to. I just think they're all over the place at the moment, Manchester United. Maybe half time they can turn it around. That's a good ball from Rashford. Wan-Bissaka, though, not a great cross, doesn't beat the first man, and it's cleared away downfield. But there are signs for visiting fans that maybe their side is at least getting some possession, because up to 1-0, they didn't have any. They were playing second best, sitting back against Watford, fourth from bottom. But now they're trying to take a little bit more control of the game. Watford still look dangerous on the break, though. Half-time approaching, Manchester United on the attack.
And they're finally out of the car park, at least, and on the bottom of the hill, Manchester United, that they've set themselves now a goal down, and they are getting a little bit more possession with 10 minutes to go to the break. Watford 1, Manchester United 0. The goal from King midway through the first half as Rashford gets away down the right-hand side, tries to pull it back across, comes off the defender on this occasion, and Kulu, and goes out of play for a corner kick. First one of the game for Manchester United. Ronaldo still grinning at the referee, wanting a decision earlier on. John Moss totally unimpressed by what the Portuguese is saying to him. He can talk away all his like. I'm sure it won't make any difference to the referee at all. And it will be a corner kick then. In fact, second of the game, my apologies, to Manchester United on the right-hand side. Whipped in swinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by King from inside his own box, and Watford will try and break away again using the pace of Dennis down the left-hand side. There's plenty of defenders back. Sarr's gone early. Looked like he might have been offside. Wan-Bissaka hooked it away from him anyway and out of play for a throw-in on the far side to Watford. Another goal elsewhere. 4 goals already at Turf Moor. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 2 now the scoreline. Benteke with his second inside 36 minutes. Sandwiched either side of the 2 Burnley goals. 2-2 in that one. 1-0 in our game as Watford have possession again inside the Manchester United half. First time cross easily dealt with by Lindelof. Should be able to clear downfield. Has time. Tries to chip a ball over the top for Sancho, but it's well read by Messina. Just tracks back. Nice and simple. Keeps the ball away. The ball is out of play for a throw-in. We see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again. Just trying to tweak things a little bit before half-time, find that little change, that key to unlock the door to give Manchester United some possession and pressure in this game. Luzia plays a ball through again towards King inside the penalty area. His first touch is not the greatest. They all look for a flag. Maguire with the challenge. He's still looking at the linesman to say, is there a flag or not? Clearly it didn't go up. Clearly that was a good chance for Watford.
Yeah, I've got no idea what Lindelof's doing there. I mean, he's let the ball run. I mean, he's let it run behind him. He's run a funny angle, and he looks like he's onside, actually. So it was a good decision from the linesman. Good challenge coming in from Maguire as well. So it is just the corner, but it's just too easy. Watford have been doing this all game. The defence is not quite in the right place too many times, and that's a last-ditch tackle from Harry Maguire 8 yards out. It's just poor. Corner, this time they take it short, which is a bit surprising.
Yeah, he played it short towards King. It's gone back out to Cleverley, who makes a real mess of things over by the corner flag. In fact, he was offside anyway. It's the pass back. He hadn't got himself back into an onside position on that occasion. So it will be a free kick to Manchester United, deep inside their own half. See a replay again of the ball through to Rashford. Really good stop by Foster down low to his right. Good eyes from Rashford as well. Watched the ball right onto his instep, played it back across the keeper. Well saved by Foster, pushed it high and up in the air as well, so that there were any Manchester United players in the edge of the box or around the edge of the area, they wouldn't have had a clear shot at goal. But at the moment, it's his side who have had the shots on goal that have counted in this game, having had a double penalty miss from a retaken penalty for Sarr, and then King getting the goal that separates the two sides. Here's Manchester United, but inside their own half. 7 minutes to go to the break. Luke Shaw quickly closed down by Kiko just inside his own half of the field. Shaw will have to go back to Maguire, and in turn it goes all the way back to the keeper De Gea. This Watford side, as we said, struggling to score frequent goals in the Premier League so far. Failed to score in 7. Have scored 12 though in the other 4. So once they get going this side, they certainly can cause problems, as Newcastle have equalised against Brentford. 2 games with 4 goals inside 40 minutes in the Premier League this afternoon. The international break has obviously not helped defenders quite clearly over the couple of weeks that they've had off. Newcastle 2, Brentford 2. Smile in the Howe hotel room. Confirming the score on that from St James's Park shortly. Brentford have gone 2-1 up from Rico Henry after around about half an hour. Here's Shaw. Turn back and check. He's got Lindelof in front of him. Fernandes comes across as well. Watford do get a cross in towards King. Free header, 8 yards, punched away. Shot comes in. Sissoko on the volley. Should have done better, the Watford captain, and got it on target, but he's lashed it wide. But again, shocking defending from Manchester United. Josh King free 15 yards out, I should say, with a header straight at De Gea, who punches away, and Sissoko smashes the rebound well wide in the end.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's quite ridiculous. The striker, middle of the goal, is unmarked. I mean, what is going on back there for Manchester United? I've got no idea. I mean, Matic, I suppose, is the closest one to him. Why is Matic marking King? There's no organisation. It's simple, isn't it? It was a kind of slow build, laying off to the full-back. He whips in across, and the striker's unmarked. It's straight at De Gea. That's done De Gea a favour. Sissoko could have done a lot better on the rebound. And you know what? He could have taken a touch if he wanted to as well, because that's how bad Manchester United are at the back. You know, it's lucky that half time's coming, because I don't know, Claudio Ranieri might change it at the break. Solskjaer needs to do something, because if this first half goes on for much longer, Watford are going to score 2, 3, 4.
Absolutely. As Newcastle, just to confirm, Joe Linton was the goal scorer for them. Newcastle 2, Brentford 2, and another goal at Turf Moor. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 3 now. Benteke had scored twice already for Palace. Mark Gay, the defender, has scored on 42 minutes to make it 3-2 to Palace in that game at Turf Moor. I was talking to one of our colleagues who's covering that game. We said, well, I don't expect too many goals, but it should be open. Well, it's he that's got the goals, and we haven't at the moment. Just the one on the board for Watford. 3.5 minutes to go to the break. United are in possession, but Lindelof is deep inside his own half of the field as the Watford press comes on again. And it's too slow from United to get the ball out to try and spread anything. Comes to Maguire, walking pace at the moment from the England man. He'll roll it across to Lindelof, who's slightly overhit, so just plays the ball into a channel downfield where there's nobody at all in the light blue Manchester United shirts. And Watford are easily able to tidy up as Messina plays it back to his goalkeeper Foster. Rashford heads it back into the Watford half, but again it's easily picked up by Watford, and they'll just try and play this out now towards half-time, you would think. They will look to try and pull Manchester United forward and then exploit any gaps behind them, as they have done once or twice in this first half. It's not that led to the goal, but it is that has led to a couple of breakaway chances. The ball is out of play for a throw-in. Claudio Ranieri screaming at his players just to calm it down. I think he was saying keep the ball. Just giving it away a little bit cheaper at the moment, Watford, for their manager's liking. And the brains trust on the United bench is deep in thought and conversation with thorough brows with a couple of minutes to go to the break. And it's Watford who have a throw in, almost level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. See the stats, 10 attempts from Watford, 3 on target, just 2 from Manchester United. As Watford put another ball into the penalty area, flicks away off a defensive head, comes back to Messina. Sarr will just roll it back out wide to Messina again. Plenty of possession here from Watford. Here's Cleverley. He'll try and break away down the right-hand side. Matic closes him down. It deflects off Sancho into the path of Kiko again. Into the box for Sarr. What a finish. Takes the ball inside the penalty area. Couple of yards of space. He's not closed down. And he smashes it across the hair into the far corner. Lovely finish from him. But again, question marks on the Manchester United defending. They didn't deal with the ball out wide. They didn't deal with the pass in there. And they didn't deal with the player in the centre and close him down. And Ismail Sarr takes full advantage of it, scores again for the 5th time in the Premier League this season, and Watford just before the break now lead by 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too dissimilar to the chance that Marcus Rashford had, and in terms of the position he is on the pitch. But, you know, Watford are playing with a bit of confidence, and this one is absolutely just rifled past De Gea. Could barely move, but there was half a block in there. Who's the first to react? It's a Watford player. Nobody's tracked Sarr. He's as free as a bird. I've got Steve pointed to how free he was from the get-go there. Maguire's looking at him going, eventually he might get the ball, I don't know, but that's a brilliant finish. Hit with power. Precision inside the far post. De Gea no chance at all, and I mean, Manchester United just all over the place. Sarr's literally stood there waiting for the ball to come to him, hasn't he? And the ball's come to it, but still that finish is excellent because the angle isn't great at all. And, well, I did say it could be 3-4 if the half goes on for much longer, but it's 2-0 into the final minute of the first half. There might be a little bit of extra time because of all the VAR and retaken penalties, but 2-0 down. Manchester United have got to change their game plan. They've been playing in first gear for the last 20 minutes, and it's got them nowhere.
And it's going to be a free kick and a yellow card. Hernandez has had the yellow card. He had a little pull back at Fernandes as Fernandes tried to break away. And then he had another go at him and finally brought him down. So, totting up procedure. I think the first foul would have had the yellow card. Referee John Moss playing a good advantage. But clear foul and one last chance for Manchester United, at least before the break. Half-time between Wolves and West Ham. That's 0-0. Plenty of goals elsewhere, though, in the Premier League, including in our game at 2-0. The half-time scoreline as United take this free kick midway inside the Watford half. Shaw and Fernandes are over it. Watford's defensive line on the edge of the box is chipped in towards Maguire, headed away from him, and then Sissoko clears the ball long downfield again. Lindelof wins the header, but only finds Sarr on that left-hand side. He can't take advantage on this occasion as the challengers come in from Fernandes, who tracked back well. In fact, he wins a throw-in, the Manchester United man. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played in this first half. We've already played nearly a minute of it. Rashford getting frustrated that nobody's making a move in front of him, so he can't get the ball into the penalty area, into the playing surface, I should say. So the United then can't get the ball into the penalty area, but Maguire has it. Out wide to Shaw. He's only midway inside the Watford half, and a pile of yellow and black jerseys are in front of him. So he's no way to get to the penalty area. Here comes Wan-Bissaka. The ball played across onto that right-hand side. Out wide, Rashford tries a cross, it deflects up in the air, spins up towards Ronaldo. He's beaten in the air though by Cathcart on this occasion. Watford will just clear it long downfield. They're happy with a 2-0 scoreline at half-time, with half of the 3 minutes already played of stoppage time. Ball picked up by Shaw. Here's Sancho, who's not really been had any impact on the game so far. Not been an influence on it in any way, shape or form, but he's not the only one from a Manchester United point of view. Maguire tries to play a ball forward for Rashford, who had gone offside. It did look like he was miles offside from the pictures we were seeing. And in fact, in the end, it is clearly shown that he's offside. Just a reminder, of course, Watford's 2 goals and penalty miss as well from Sarr, and from the retaken penalty as well. De Gea with 2 saves. It could have been worse for Manchester United. It's bad enough as it is. But the hole could have been even deeper. As it stands at the moment, they still have a chance to drag themselves out of it in the second half. But, glum faces in the red and white section of Vicarage Road. The ball cleared forward by Watford again. It spins onto the floor and drops to the feet of Dennis, who tries to battle his way through. Rashford clears the ball downfield. Eventually it will be tidied up by Nkolu. Back to Foster. Left-footed ball high downfield as Watford try for something just before the break. It's flicked on by King. Might drop in the end to Dennis. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Steps back inside. Looking for somebody to make a move. There's nobody there really, so he'll take it himself. Tries to chip it in. It deflects off Wan-Bissaka and goes behind for a corner, which Watford will take. Watford looking to take the short corner quickly. Ball into the penalty area. It's cleared away. And in fact, that will be half-time. And it's Watford who have the advantage at the break. It's the Hornets that lead by 2-0.
Half time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. It's largely been one-way traffic. Watford missed 2 penalties, one retaken, of course. David De Gea saving them both. The rebound from the first was put home by Femenia, but that was ruled out for encroachment. Sarr's second attempt also saved by De Gea. They've come close before they did eventually take the lead. Dennis crossing and King side-footing home from close range before on the stroke of half-time. Another ball in from the right this time found Sarr. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis cross. King side-footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Femenia down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across De Gea inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis cross. King side-footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Femenia down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across De Gea inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis cross. King side-footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Femenia down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across De Gea inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis cross. King side-footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Femenia down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across De Gea inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis cross. King side-footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Femenia down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across De Gea inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range, and on the stroke of half-time, Firmania down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair, inside the far post. United United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved as well for the Hornets. They missed a penalty twice. It was retaken. Sarr denied by De Gea. The rebound from the first was put home. That was ruled out for encroachment. United haven't learned. The pressure continued. Eventually, Watford went in front of the 28th minute. Dennis Cross, King side-footing home from close range. And on the stroke of half-time, Firmino down the right, pulled it back for Sarr. Brilliant finish from a tight angle across the hair inside the far post. United in trouble. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 0. Fully deserved. A warm welcome back to our coverage of the action taking place at Vicarage Road. Great news for Watford fans. They lead by 2-0. Could have been more. They've had a penalty missed twice because it was retaken. And it's 2-0 at the break. Obviously, it has been one-way traffic. There was other chances as well. Fernandes played a great ball for Rashford in Manchester United's best chance, brought a decent save out of Foster, but really it's Watford from the get-go. Two changes at the break. Martial and Van der Beek are on for Manchester United. McTominay, who was on a yellow card, of course, and Rashford the two to make way. But we were just saying, me and Steve, we could have taken any one of the Manchester United players off because not one of them had a good game. Not one of them, Steve. So it's those two that have paid the penalty. Are these changes going to make a difference?
Well, they've got to make a difference, haven't they? We were just talking off air in terms of United have got to find an outlet because Watford are closing down quickly. They're doing it again now. They've forced Manchester United. They've got to throw in out of that. They're claiming they have. The referee agrees with them that there will be a throw in, but it's about getting out of your own half quickly and efficiently. And at the moment, first half, United couldn't do that. It looks like for like changes, which, then to me, as we were saying, you've got to get Wan-Bissaka and Shaw further forward. Therefore, Matic has got to be in there holding, and we said McTominay, he's now gone off. So Van der Beek's got to be a little further forward and try and plug that gap between the defensive midfielder and the midfielders further forward because it was too big in that first half. But for me, again, as I say, it's the width. They've got to get out wide. So if Sarr and Dennis are going to push forward, look for the balls over the top to give you the space then on the halfway line to break away quickly. If that doesn't happen for United, it's going to be more of the same, I think, with Watford dominating possession. Yeah,
Watford certainly playing with confidence. They're 2-0 up, and as I say, it could have been more as Manchester United try and break down the left-hand side. Ronaldo actually denied by Cathcart, but it is a throw into Manchester United. Just a quick reminder, as it's the start of the second half of the other scores, still goalless Villa Brighton, Humdinger at Turf Moor, Burnley 2, Palace 3. Not quite as good at St James's, Newcastle 2, Brentford 2. One apiece, Norwich Southampton. Wolves West Ham, that is still goalless. I think West Ham had a goal ruled out in that one. But of course, in our game, Watford 2-0 up, could have been more. I think the shot or attempts count was 11-2 in Watford's favour as Sissoko sidesteps Sancho, and now Watford come forward again down the left-hand side with King, who's got Messina making a decoy run. Well, King decides to ignore him and comes in field and gives away possession. Manchester United have it back. Van der Beek under a little bit of trouble, although Wan-Bissaka left it when he shouldn't have done because it's picked up by Luza, who plays it out to King down the left-hand side. Tries to go with the outside of his boot to cross it. It's hit the chest of Lindelof. Wan-Bissaka clears it down the line. Sancho steps over, but that should be mopped up by Sissoko near the halfway line, and Watford have it back. So we've had, 2 minutes of the second half. Manchester United have barely got out of their half again, and Watford have been driving at the United 18-yard box. A better pass from King, and things could have been a little bit better, but seemingly in the snapshot of the second half, nothing so far has changed.
No, it's exactly the same, isn't it? There's no width from Manchester United. Attacking players can't get in it. Sancho looks lost at the moment. Here's another ball down the back. Lindelof should get there first this time and tidies up before Dennis can get in there. But it's the same modus operandi from Manchester United. The only difference, as I say, is that Van der Beek is slightly further forward than McTominay was. They should have gone to one holding player in midfield, and then Van der Beek and Fernandes dropping in front of Matic, who will sit in the back four. But at the moment, because the press is so good from Watford, 2 or 3 players every single time a United player gets the ball. In fact, Van der Beek seems to be drifting more and more. I don't know whether it's just because the ball's been more on the right-hand side, but he's playing almost in front of Wan-Bissaka at the moment, down that right side of the midfield, which I don't quite understand. Fernandes and him, for me, need to spread the play and try and spread this Watford midfield around to get that space, and it's not happening at all.
Yes, Watford are throwing a big play inside Manchester United half down the left. Dennis Backheel, well, nobody's followed him, so the backheel is to a Manchester United player trying to clear their lines, but they're under pressure. That's better from from Matic. Now Shaw's got a bit of space. He's trying to use his speed to at least stay ahead of Sarr. Feeds it out to the left-hand side, and Ronaldo playing on that left wing at the moment. But then no options ahead of him. Matic had actually made a run through the middle, but he's slowly making his way back towards the halfway line as Fernandes has it. Now it's with Martial. Out to the right-hand side, bit of space for Jadon Sancho onto his right foot, crossing to the far post, free header, oh, and it's in the back of the net. Ronaldo unselfishly headed it back across the face. Van der Beek has headed it home from close range, and Manchester United are back in it if this goal stands, but you could argue this was as simple for Manchester United as what Watford were doing at the other end. Nobody's tracked the crosser, nobody's tracked the header, and then it was a tap in from Van der Beek, and it's Watford 2, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, what do we say about getting the ball out wide and finding space? Sancho stood on his own on the right-hand side. Watford get dragged in. They don't block out the cross. Lovely ball in for Ronaldo. It's borderline as to whether he was offside. They will check it, of course, to see. I think he's just onside. Great cross in. Lovely header back as well, because Ronaldo could go for goal. You kind of think he will. You automatically presume Ronaldo's going to be straight up for this one, but he doesn't. He sees that Van der Beek is inside. Lovely header across. Little diving header from him as well. And it's exactly what we were talking about with Manchester United, not dealing with the balls into the penalty area, not stopping them at source. This time it's Watford that don't do it, and a nicely worked goal from Manchester United. Suddenly, things look a lot brighter.
Yeah, look a lot brighter. Sancho just got one touch and crossed it deep to the far post. And Ronaldo, he might have gone a little bit too early in the sense the ball was a little bit behind him. That might have put him off going for goal. And he's found that Van der Beek, of course, has struggled to make an impact at Manchester United, much like Jadon Sancho. So those two involved in the goal, and maybe it is a game on. I don't want to get too carried away. if he hadn't, a bit risky.
It certainly was risky. I mean, you know, again, it's a gust of wind and Ronaldo is heading for the turf.
Yes.
But on that side of it, Messina certainly puts a hand on his shoulder, and he's silly to do so because there's no need, as you say, as Ronaldo is racing into the area. Although I would rather see Ronaldo staying on his feet and at least get a shot in, because there was no reason why he couldn't. So I think the flag is the best outcome of all that, shall we say.
Yeah. Loser has it for Watford in the middle of the park to Messina, back to Nkulu, goes long and early, but only finds Lindelof. Van der Beek closed down on the United right, but he plays his channel ball and nobody's tracked the runner. Sancho, right edge of the box, looking for options, pings it towards the far post. Fernandes towards goal. Oh, he's sliced it wide of the far post. That was an incisive break from Manchester United this time. Good ball from Sancho, and on his stronger right foot. Not sure he needed to kind of slide when he volleyed, but didn't hit the target.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell whether he slid or slipped, to be honest with you, Rob, as the ball came across. But again, it's that space for Sancho, isn't it? He's now finding room. He's getting space in the area. And yeah, he's just slightly behind him as he came in, Fernandes. He just had to stop his run a little. And then, yeah, as he kicks it, it's kind of behind him. He's still expecting to get it on target on that occasion. Martial watched it flash across in front of him as well. So a great opportunity for Manchester United. But the game has changed because United are now pushing forward out wide and are stretching this Watford side in behind where Sarr and Dennis, as we said, were causing the problems earlier on. So it's better to see from Manchester United, and a much better performance in this second half has put them back in the game as Wolves go 1-up against West Ham in their game at Molineux. Raul Jimenez on the score sheet for Wolves. They lead by 1-0.
Yeah, that's leaves only one goalless game now, and that's Villa-Brighton. That's still goalless. Obviously, all these games are heading to around about the hour mark. And, well, goal in every game, barring one. Although there's plenty of goals today, particularly at Turf Moor. You wouldn't necessarily associate Turf Moor with a 6-goal thriller, but that's what's happening at the moment. 2-1 to Watford in our game, and a deserved lead for Watford on another day. Of course, it could have been by more, but 2-0 up at the break. Manchester United, I wouldn't say have been better defensively in the second half, but they've offered a bit more threat offensively, and they've got a goal. They're back in it. Van der Beek through the middle to Ronaldo, looks offsides, finish. Oh, might have just hit the shoulder. Foster goes over the bar. Corner given. That's a chance that may well have stood. Of course, had it gone in, VAR might have checked it, but it's a corner that's been given. Good ball from Van der Beek, and Ronaldo denied one-on-one by the keeper. It looks offside, doesn't he?
Yeah, initial thought is that he's offside. It's very, very tight. I'm not sure the flag did go up. It's a really good save by Foster. When we look at it again, he doesn't commit himself. He sits up and it comes off his shoulder in the end. Excellent stop by the Watford keeper. And Ronaldo, yeah, the flag did stay down. But I'm with you. I think on replay, on VAR, that's given as an offside as the corner kick comes in. Punched away by Foster, but United will keep possession.
Wan-Bissaka with a big up and under towards the corner taker, who's not onside, so he's running back to his position. It's actually going to go out for a throw-in right on the corner flag. So Watford, to a degree, under a bit of pressure, but it's their throw-in from a deep position. Foster just moving away there, shaking his head. It's one of those saves where it hit his shoulder. Could have gone anywhere. You might have expected Ronaldo to put it away, but had he done so, I don't think it got over given. Steve just mentioned it. He did look offside on a slow-mo, so obviously VAR would have checked that. Obviously, the corner ultimately came to nothing as Matic is penalised, pressing high up the pitch, but into at the back of Sissoko, and Foster's gone long towards Dennis. Lindelof is trying to shepherd the ball out. He can't quite do so, so he has to just take control of the ball, and does so well enough. Manchester United back in possession deep inside their own half, this time with Luke Shaw on the left to the feet of Ronaldo, still inside the United half. Ronaldo's played a lot down the left. He's also popped up through the middle. Here is Martial now, looking for that ball through for Sancho. It hit the heels of Nkulu. Van der Beek wins the first header, but it's Loser who gets the second, only to give it away. Then it's picked up by Harry Maguire. He's gone down very easily under pressure from Sarr. No free kick. United still have possession anyway. Good switch of play left-footed from Fernandes out to Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. And he's able to turn onto his right foot. Sancho is up in support. Watford have got plenty back behind the ball. First time cross from Fernandes. It's deep, and it's a little bit too deep. Ronaldo can't keep it in. That will be a goal kick to Watford, but there's still time left. Obviously, Manchester United came from 2-0 down to beat Atalanta. What's going on at Watford? Because they don't look as solid defensively in the second half.
No, I think the difference was obviously we didn't see too much from them defensively in the first half, did we, Rob? Because the press was so good, they were so far up the field. United could hardly get the ball out of their own half, made it very easy for Watford to defend because all the defending was done by the attacking players. Now with this slight change of formation, it's stretching the Watford players across that midfield section, so there's more pressure on Loser, on Cleverley and on Sissoko to try and deal with it, and they're not, because Sancho and Martial are finding space, or at least creating the illusion of space that forces Watford to spread across midfield. Much better from United. It's how they should have played the first half, and they didn't. They were too respectful, I think, to Watford's potential breaks and attacking, that they sat so deep. It made it easy for Watford. Now they're playing it the way they should have done, for me, in the first 45 minutes, and have looked a lot better in the first 15 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, poor cross from Femenia nullifies a potential threat there for Watford. Obviously they've tried to get forward the two full-backs, just haven't seen it as often in the second half, but he wasn't under that much pressure there either. That's a little bit disappointed, delivery from Femenia, as Shaw brings it forward for Manchester United. Martial stabs it through. Ronaldo is in behind. He took forever to get the ball under control. It might have been offside. No, says the referee. Flag stay down anyway, but Ronaldo loses possession and it's cleared away by Foster. Dennis is a real handful for Lindelof at the moment. He's done brilliantly to hold the ball up. Now support comes initially from Sissoko. United defenders getting back into position. A little bit of momentum lost, but Dennis showing his pace and power there to get the better of Lindelof, and then allow those other Hornets to get up in his support. Ball over the top down the right from Sarr. He goes down under pressure from Maguire. From behind, it's right on the edge of the box. Now the referee's given a free kick here, and it's just outside the box. Sarr's actually ended up in the box, so they might just look whether this is actually a penalty. Maguire takes a yellow card. He's just wrong side. I suppose it has started outside the box, so it will be a free kick.
Yeah, it starts and finishes outside the box, doesn't it? In the end, you say Maguire knows he's lost. He knows he's on the wrong side. It's poor defending, really, again, from Maguire. It's not dissimilar to the one with McTominay, is it, that gave away the penalty in the first half. Maguire knows he's outside the box, knows he's got to take some kind of action, and will just take the yellow card and the free kick. But again, it's what we talked about before game. It's what we talked about in the first half as well, Rob. When United defenders are facing their own goal, the quality of defending drops dramatically compared to when the players are in front of them and they're facing away from their own goal.
Yeah, I don't understand why Maguire is the wrong side of Sarr anyway. He hasn't got the pace to catch up with Sarr. What's he doing on that side of him? But it is a free kick. United could regroup. We talked in the first half how they don't really attack set-piece delivery defensively. The amount of times that balls bounce into their box is quite incredible, really. Watford just haven't been able to capitalise so far. They lead 2-1 and got an opportunity. I wouldn't say they've been under the cosh in this second half, but they've certainly been under more pressure, and it's a chance to get things going back the other way. Change made by the Hornets ahead of this free kick. And is that Nkulu who's gone off? He's going off, rather. So this must be an injury. Nkulu's limping off, actually, so that's obviously an enforced change, and didn't quite see who's coming on. Trusticong is coming on in Nkulu's place, so that's a bit of a blow for Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah, cool. I mean, they've not been under much pressure in that first half, but what he did, he was comfortable with. He's just rubbing the back of his hamstring as well, as though he doesn't look anything serious in that sense. He's not hobbling off slowly. He's walked off fairly briskly in that sense. So fingers crossed, it's not a major problem. But Trusticong, straightforward swap for Watford, so it shouldn't unbalance them too much at all.
Cantilly Brentford have gone in front. Low free kick, took a deflection off the wall, cleared away by Fernandes downfield. Watford should get the second ball. Tom Cleverley just kicks it up and under over his own head, trying to get it into a dangerous area. Van der Beek with a strong challenge wins the ball. It's going out of play towards the right-hand side. It's played down the line but into touch, and it will be a Manchester United throw. Should Van der Beek not get any repercussions. I don't know what Sissoko's doing to Van der Beek. He's got his arm around his waist, and I'm not sure what he's doing. Now Femenia has come to have a word. Sancho's come to have a word with his teammate, saying don't get involved. I'm guessing. It was a challenge that he won the ball, obviously there's then a bit of momentum. It's kind of the knee, his knee after he's played the ball is still going forward and it hits the shin. So I don't think this is going to be anything in terms of a yellow stroke red. It's just obviously unfortunate for Watford.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all, is it, at the moment? I think it is a collision injury. There's a lot of concern for the player that's down. But Van der Beek, as you say, he slides in. There's nothing malicious about it. There's no foot up. There's nothing like that. As you say, he just can't stop himself. And I think there's a twist of the knee then for Sarr that's down under the challenge. So I think they're quite right. It is a ball that spins away. I don't think there's even particularly a free kick been given in the end. I think it's just going to be a throw in to Manchester United when all this is tidied up. But an obvious concern, and they're trying to give the player as much as possible. It is the knee that's the problem. You can see they're moving it around, trying to check the movement in it, but clearly some pain as well. It doesn't look too good at all. It's the kind of one that could be a ligament damage type knee injury more than anything else, and it just needs to be careful here. Take the time on it.
Yeah, well, it's getting a bit of treatment. Just a reminder of the scores elsewhere. Still goalless Villa at Brighton. Steven Gerrard's first game in charge. That, of course. Burnley against Palace. That's 3-3. Newcastle 2, Brentford 3. That's Eddie Howe's first game in charge, although he's tested positive for COVID, so he's not even there. But Brentford have been in a poor run of form. They're in front at St James's Park. Norwich 1, Southampton 1. Norwich under new management as well. And of course, Wolves lead West Ham by a goal to nil. West Ham up in the top 4, third actually at the moment. So that's something of a surprise. But in this game, the evidence of the first half, Manchester United could have been in new management in the next game that they played because it was terrible. If they turn this around, is this one of those incidents that's kind of like a crack paper over, or is it, well, they've got it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I mean, it's difficult to know what to make of what the United hierarchy think of what's going on with their team.
I think we're on about the 10th layer of wallpaper, aren't we, above those cracks now, Rob, with this Manchester United side, if I'm honest. I think, I mean, you would say, OK, it wasn't good first half, changed it in the second half, it's got better. So if it gets back to 2-2 or United turn it around and win the game completely, which is not beyond the realms of possibility, the way this second half is starting to map out. We're still 24 minutes left to go. Watford is still a danger on the break. I could see, you look at this game, you could still see a 3-2 win for Manchester United the way the second half has gone. You could also see Watford breaking away 2 or 3 times and winning 4 or 5-1. So, take your pick either way at the moment. But United have settled down. They look much better. I think we can safely say that Sarr's afternoon has ended. He's on the sideline, crouched over at the moment, and the fourth official is getting the board out. Not surprisingly, did look like a nasty one. As I say, no criticism of Van der Beek for me. It was a decent tackle, just 2 players colliding, and here he comes down the right-hand side now for United.
Yeah, Watford down to 10 men as things stand. Manchester United high up the pitch, although Watford have got plenty behind the ball at the moment. Matic through into the box, won't reach Sancho. It's only clear to Van der Beek, back inside to Matic. Could go for goal, he's gone near post, and Ben Foster might have been expecting far post. It's dragged wide, couple of feet of the near post. It's certainly opened up. Obviously, Watford a man down, just struggling to match the runners in the box. But again, the final pass shot, not quite where it needs to be, certainly for a side that's chasing at the game. At least work the keeper, and that's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, if Matic meant that, it wasn't a bad idea to try and pull it back across the across the goalkeeper into the near post. But I'm not sure he did, to be honest with you. It looked like he dragged the shot rather than anything else. But it could have nestled in the corner. Scuccio Hernandez will come on for Sarr. He's 1 goal so far in the Premier League for the Watford substitute. But again, fairly straightforward swap. It's the one thing with this Watford side. It is pieces that fit nicely into the jigsaw for them and could come on easy. As we say, we saw Trusticon come on earlier on straight away for Nkulu. Manchester United, 1 or 2 players warming up as well. So maybe another change to come for them over the last 20 minutes as they try and find a way back into this game.
Yeah, I think Hernandez scored against Everton maybe. Obviously they scored 5 in there, so there was a good chance it was. Oh, Maguire's taken a chance. Oh, and then the tackle is the second tackle is such as a foul, and this will be a second yellow for Maguire. Maguire has been sent off. This is United possession. He took control, lost it. then goes into a sliding challenge on Cleverley. Manchester United down to 10 men legitimately for the rest of the game because Maguire has been sent off, and it's just been the way his United career this season has gone. Mistake, and now he's been sent off.
Too many times, isn't it, in this game so far that we've seen it. We saw McTominay give away a penalty for getting on the wrong side and making a silly challenge. Then Maguire on this occasion just loses possession of the ball. The first yellow card is because he's on the wrong side of the Watford man. This time he overruns it. Clear yellow card, there's absolutely no question. He just wipes Cleverley out as he stretches across. He has to lunge for it, Maguire, because he gets himself into a situation, and Cleverley has done well. You know, this is the press that we've seen from Watford again. Cleverley's been forward a lot in the first half, little less so in the second half, but now they've started to try and push United back and get that pressure on them early before they can start to move the ball through midfield. And that's what's led to the goals in the first half. And then in the second, the free kick comes in from Dennis. They're way over the crossbar. Really poor free kick in the end, but 20 minutes left to go. And now United back foot, 10 men.
Yeah, one can only assume that at the moment at least Matic will fill in at left back. McTominay of course has played centre back for Scotland, but he's been subbed, although at the moment it's Bruno Fernandes alongside Victor Lindelof. I didn't realise the times, Steve, so I've stolen some from you there. It's Watford 2, Manchester United 1. The visitors down to 10 men, but they are chasing the game. Here's Steve.
Yeah, I got a bit of injury time first half, mate. So it all balances out in the end as Leaque will pick up possession for Watford as they try and come away and stretch this 10-man Manchester United side and put the game to bed as they lead by 2-1. Sissoko finds King. He's got 3 Manchester United players between him and goal, though, so he'll turn away pragmatically towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area. He pulls it back onto the edge of the box for Dennis. Dennis with the shot, blocked by Matic, who recovers quickly and does well with a bit of help from Fernandes to drive out of the penalty area. But Manchester United haven't got away, but they have now. That's a great ball by Van der Beek into the space for Sancho down the right-hand side. Just Ronaldo in the centre. Did I really just say just Ronaldo in the centre? But there's 5 Watford players around him. And again, Manchester United have to be a little pragmatic and come back. Here's Van der Beek. Sees the run of Ronaldo. Great ball into the box. Ronaldo tries to take it first time on the angle. Doesn't get his angles right, though, this time and hooks it wide. But Van der Beek now finding some space. Lovely ball for Sancho. And then a perfect ball through for Ronaldo as well. And he's starting to find a bit of room, Van der Beek, and find a bit of rhythm in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that was Watford just losing track because Ronaldo dropped deep and he was followed deep. But then, of course, Van der Beek's put his arms out, I need a runner. And so Ronaldo made a run and nobody's tracked his run. The weight of the pass was perfect. And Ronaldo, you'd expect him to hit the target. You know, it's a decent position to be in. But like you say, Van der Beek trying to pull some strings now for Manchester United. It won't be easy for Manchester United. As a team, they haven't been playing well. And, of course, now they're down to 10 men. So that's a problem in itself. But there's still time to turn it around. And I guess a lot may depend on the mindset of the Hornets. They've got relegation issues. They might start protecting what they've got as opposed to exploiting the 10 men of Manchester United. We'll see how it pans out. 18 minutes to go.
Yeah, I really wouldn't if I were them, because I think they're playing it the right way as King tries to race away down the left-hand side. Lindelof as well makes a challenge. He's rather frustrated. I think he thinks that he should have got a throw-in out of that, but he hasn't. It will be a throw-in to Watford, midway inside the Manchester United half, left-hand side. Every game in the Premier League of the 6 being played at the 3 o'clock kickoffs, all still finely balanced. Nobody way in front. 1 goal separating sides. A couple of games all square as we come into the last 17 minutes or so of our match between Manchester United and Watford. Watford leading by 1-0. There will be a free kick here. Cleverley and Shaw got tangled up. I think it may have been Studs tangled up in laces as they tried to make a challenge. But it will be a clear free kick for Manchester United, although they're deep inside their own half of the field as it stands at the moment. So no opportunity to get the ball forward early in this attack. They'll roll it back to De Gea, who in turn will play it out towards Lindelof on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Lindelof forward, poor ball from him, easily picked up by Leaque in midfield. He can't, on this occasion, find King, though, further forward. Manchester United will be able to come away with Wan-Bissaka, who strides over halfway, rolls the ball out to Sancho, again wide on the right-hand side. He'll step over a couple of times, but he's forced backwards towards his own halfway line. Manages to keep possession and find Bruno Fernandes, who holds off Leaque and plays the ball forward again, eventually through Martial. He steps away from one challenge, then tries to race away down the left-hand side. Cucho Hernandez is back there this time. And here come United again. Sancho's pass is only finds Sissoko as he half clears, but now Manchester United have got it back. Ronaldo, right-hand edge of the box. It deflects off Messina. He will keep it away from going out of play for a corner, and he pushes the ball out for a throw-in on the right-hand side to Manchester United. So time for them to get the ball in the box again. 15 minutes to go. Watford leading by 2-1. The ball thrown in short. Wan-Bissaka plays it back again, much too heavy. Lindelof looks at him as if to say, well, what do you want me to do with that? As the ball is thundered back towards him. Comes off Lindelof and goes out of play for a throw-in. Manchester United lost 4 of the past 6 league games, as many as they had in their previous 40. So since the good run earlier, the wheels have started to come off at the moment for Manchester United. They still have time to salvage at least something from this game as Van der Beek pushes it back to Shaw. He'll just lift the ball up over the top. Cathcart scampers back and heads the ball square to Kiko Femenia, who clears it downfield. Just a launched ball really in towards touch. Bounces straight out of play for a throw-in. Wide on that left-hand side for Manchester United. There will be substitutions as well for Watford to come, as they look to try and find a way of sealing this game. As Manchester United have just enjoyed a little bit of possession, not in the attacking positions particularly for Solskjaer's side so far. Here's Sancho though, steps away from one challenge, whips a great ball in towards Ronaldo. Good header just over the bar, and he slams the ground in frustration, knowing that he should really have got that one on target. Lovely chipped ball in from Jadon Sancho from the right hand side. Ronaldo's run timed to perfection, but on this occasion his header flashes over the crossbar. But we see it again here. He first off goes away from the defender, then comes back inside. Sancho reads it, just puts the ball into a dangerous area in those central positions. There was just a little bit of a nudge on Ronaldo as he went in, but he heads it over. But you look at that with Ronaldo, Rob, and automatically you think should be on target, but that's being really critical of him for what was a really good run.
Yeah, I'm always critical. It should have been on target. Like the shot before, you just expect him to do it. He scored a great goal against Spurs from a tight angle. Because he does it, you expect it, and he'll be disappointed that he hasn't at least hit the target. Great ball in from Sancho. For some reason, he's been more effective in the second half. He's been more effective since Manchester United have been down to 10 men. He's found more space since Manchester United man down than he did in the entire, opening 50, 60 minutes. It's quite strange, really.
Yeah, Watford just with a little wobble, little nudge as the ball comes forward again here by Ronaldo onto that left-hand side for Martial towards the corner of the penalty area. He steps back inside. Can he get room for a cross? He can find Van der Beek. Can he on the edge of the box? Play through for Ronaldo. Looks like he's offside. He'll play on and he will put the ball into the back of the net, but surely he's offside. Flag has gone up on this occasion straight away, and I've got to say, first glance was that he was off.
Yeah, I mean the problem there was Van der Beek. Credit to Watford for stepping out, because they actually go and try and close the ball. 3 of them go out to Van der Beek. Obviously, in the first half, nobody went out from Manchester United. It's a king's side stepping from that kind of range. That's why I'm referencing that one. And they all pushed out because they committed to blocking the ball, and Ronaldo definitely offside. It's been ruled out. It remains 2-1, but it's quite strange how games pan out. Man United are down a man. They haven't played well all game, and yet Watford just a little bit wary because they're down in the relegation zone, because they've got 1 or 2 issues themselves. Confidence has been knocked. They're not taking confidence from 78 minutes of football. They're taking it from the last 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 games. They've easily been the better side in this game, but for some reason, I'm not going to say it's unravelling, it's just not looking as solid in this second half for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's the old Chris Wilder thing, isn't it? The minimum I expect is my players to show effort, and you're not getting a lack of effort from Manchester United in the second half, particularly when they have possession of the ball, as Ronaldo gets away down the left-hand side, holds off Cathcart, turns him inside out, looks up, didn't really have too much in the penalty area, so he'll wait a moment or two, couple of step overs, it's onto the edge of the box for Bruno Fernandes. Oh, and it's a terrible finish from the edge of the box. He screams at himself as well, because again, it's another United player who knows he should have done better. Ronaldo did really well, held the ball up nicely, found his Portugal international teammate, but but he smashes the ball well over. Great opportunity for Manchester United. Got to make Foster work. Great chance for 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, you're just never going to score if you don't hit the target. I know you might get a deflection, but I mean, he's gone high. That's the problem. He's gone high, and he's under no pressure. This is what's frustrating about these kind of positions. No pressure. He's even side-footed it, and it's gone over the ball. He's gone for placement. And he's not even close to hitting the target there. And after Ronaldo's spent 5 minutes on the ball waiting for somebody to get there, he's done really well to hold it up. At least work the keeper. If the Foster pulls off a blinding save, he pulls off a save. You don't hit the target because it's too high. You've got problems.
Yeah, ball forward here for Watford. Sissoko, his first pass is blocked, but then he picks up possession again. High cross into the box, much too high on this occasion. Will it bounce out of play? Yes, it will. Chance perhaps for us to tell you about a couple of goals elsewhere. Norwich now lead Southampton by 2-1. Grant Hanley has scored. Maybe a win for the new manager at Carrow Road in the first game. And again, another 3-3. 2 3-3 games this afternoon. Alan Saint-Maximin has equalised for Newcastle. 3-3 in that game. 2-1 in ours. Manchester United down to 10 men. Maguire sent off for a second yellow in this second half. And Watford's 2 goals coming in the first period. They missed a penalty as well. Well, they missed 2 penalties, I suppose, because the first one was saved. Then it was retaken and saved again. United pulled one back in the second half. 10 minutes left to go. There is still hope here for Manchester United in this second period. You would say they have been the better side in terms of the attacking opportunities as Watford try and play a long ball into the box. Bounces all the way through to this left-hand side. Picked up by Dennis. He'll backtrack Wan-Bissaka into the penalty area. Plays it back to Sissoko. Sissoko across field onto that right-hand side, I should say. Cucho Hernandez steps back. First time cross from Cleverley. Too far, though. Not dealt with. De Gea again will not come for a cross when he should do. It's just looped up into the area. And in the end, Wan-Bissaka has to deal with it because nobody else will. But all he does is put it behind for a corner.
I mean, it's terrible. They did this last week, or last time against Man City. Luke Shaw's leaving it, De Gea's leaving it, and Bernardo Silva nipped in. But, I mean, nobody's nipping in there. Surely somebody can say something to a teammate. Yeah, no need to worry about this one. Leave it. Let it go. Or the keeper